Welcome to the Arclight Battery, your power source for all things Warcraft Rumble related. In today's video, I'm going to be going over what units I think gain the most and lose the most from the rocket towers that we get on Sunday. But before we get into the video, have you ever wondered where you can find my top decks? Well, of course it's on my YouTube channel, but you can also find them at rumbledb.com. They are the sponsor of today's video, and they have an awesome website here, including a PvP leaderboard, top leaders, as well as a tier list. So, let's say you want to find my builds. If we go to their full leaderboard and scroll down, we can find my position right here and click on it, and all of my builds are here. You can find them at any time. You can update it if it's not up to date. But look at this. Here's my Tyrion, here's my Murk-Eye, here's my Baron, my Jaina. All of the top decks that I have on my YouTube channel are all right here, and you can find everybody else's too. So if you ever wonder what your opponent was actually playing, you didn't quite catch their deck, or maybe you're just wondering what the top 10 or 20 players on the leaderboard are doing, this is the perfect website to find it. So thank you once again to rumbledb.com for sponsoring today's video. And with that, we are back to the video. So let's talk about what's changing. On Sunday, we have Dragon Towers rotating out. Thank God. I'm so happy about it. And we have Rocket Towers coming in. So what are Dragon Towers good against? Well, they're really good against melee units and squads. They are bad against ranged things, resistant things because they deal elemental damage. And I'm really looking forward to having melee units back in the meta because currently it's all unbound and long-range things. There's an occasional Dracosath, but he'll get much better with Rocket Towers. What are Rocket Towers good against? Well, they're good against squads, but also not as good against fast unit and melee units. So basically what happens is, like Harpies or Prowler, or maybe even Tauren, when it gets max range, the Rocket Tower will target it, and then Tauren will charge, or Harpies and Prowler will get in pretty quick and miss the first one. So the Rockets deal elemental damage and a lot of damage in a specific area, but if you can move outside of the area, it's pretty fantastic. So this means that close range things like melee units, like footmen that I love playing, get better. They're not still as good as they are against arrow towers, but they don't take the extra damage for being close to dragon towers. So what gets better? Well, unfortunately, this guy right here, Quillbore, he gets better because during dragon towers he starts max range and then walks all the way in. He takes a lot of damage from the dragon towers, but in rocket towers he just takes the same amount of damage no matter where he's at. So him being in melee range isn't as bad anymore. So he gets a little better, but he's always been good, so that's fine. Like I said, melee units get better. Dracosath is a big culprit. He's going to get a lot better here. Just fantastic. Already has resist, so going to be good against them. Being able to walk into melee range of the tower without getting absolutely blasted by the dragon towers is going to be awesome. Another unit that gets good is Hogger. He is fast, and he is pretty tanky and melee. So he'll probably outrun the first rocket, and then after that he'll start tanking him, but way better than the dragon towers. We already went over fast units, Prowler, Harpies, Tauren Chieftain, things of that nature. Eggs get better. So before, eggs would get popped by the dragon tower, and then the dragon tower would keep AoE breathing, and then the first tick kills the eggs, and then everything else damages the whelps. Now the rocket will proc the eggs, and rockets have a decently long-ish wind-up time, so a lot of flat damage. However, one rocket will pop the eggs, and then it'll have to wait, retarget, and kill the whelps. So just a little bit better. What gets worse? Well, all the things that you were using before to tank dragon towers, like Safe Pilot, Griffin, things of that nature, all the ranged units, they get a little worse. Safe Pilot's not going to be bad. Griffin probably won't be bad. They just get a little bit worse. Griffin's probably the worst culprit here, just because it's 2 gold, it's a good cycle unit. However, I'm pretty sure it gets one shot by the rocket towers. We'll have to wait and see. Baron gets a little worse. So before, skeleton mages could tank dragon towers for quite a while. Now that's not the case. Rocket towers will hit all of them, and for max damage. Baron just got nerfed. We'll see if it actually lowers him down a little bit in the tier lists, but I would imagine he'll be just fine, but he is looking a little rough. Murk-Eye is also really bad. Murk-Eye right here. Dragon Towers are good for his Murlocs because they sit at max range and blast and, drop off damage. But now it's just a giant rocket and it'll do max damage to everything. So it's likely that Murk-Eye will take a little bit of a hit, but I still expect him to be okay in this meta. Now, what are things that got just kind of okay? Well, a lot of people think that Troll is going to fall off because he could solo Dragon Towers. I do think he'll drop off a little bit, but I think he'll be in just a relatively okay spot once everything's done. I think Cairn is in a good spot right now as well. Once again, I wish mine was leveled up so that I could play him. However, I can't dump the XP into him, unfortunately. So, he's going to be good, though. I think he's going to be just kind of still where he's at. Not the best in the world, but definitely in, like, the top. I'd probably put him in the top 5 heroes right now. He's definitely pretty solid, and he's a good pick for the Rocket Towers. Rend is also very good. He gets a little bit better. Scale and Steel is fantastic. It was good against Dragon Towers, but they just do so much damage close range, and Rend is a very low range when he's on his dragon, even though he's still ranged. It's just not very long. So this will help him survive against Rocket Towers longer than Dragon Towers, and I feel like he's going to make his way back into the meta a little bit. But most importantly, I'm excited for just the swap up of the meta. I don't think we're going to see as many Griffin Riders and Safe Pilots tanking bases anymore. I think we'll also see a decrease in the amount of spells being used. There's a lot of, it was Deep Breath. It got changed to where it doesn't hit the middle of its beam anymore, so you can't do double damage with it. Then we've kind of seen a swap to Execute lately. However, I think with the resurgence of push builds coming back, like actual ground units, tanky things, I think you'll see a drop off of spells and more units. So, I'm pretty mainly excited for, Footmen, Core Hounds, Earth Elemental making a comeback potentially, Prowler potentially, Warsong Rider, or Raider rather, is a good one. Just anything that's on the ground. Gargoyle is going to be really good this map, I feel, with Rocket Towers. Super solid unit. Definitely look forward to playing this a little more. But yeah, just mainly melee units will be good again, and I'm very excited about it. This guy right here, Ghoul, super solid. Definitely a good choice for next Rocket Towers. So, those are my thoughts and opinions on the units that will change and leaders. Now let's go into a couple different decks that I think will be good in the meta. So, like I said before, I think Cairn's very solid. This is not the deck I would run with him. If you have a Tauren Chieftain, maybe run it over Warsong Raider. Troll's still going to be good. Safe Pilot. This might get changed out. I don't know that this will be a spell. Probably something like this, where you have Whelp Eggs for protection, and then maybe Core Hounds as well. I like being able to split the Core Hounds. However, this might get changed into something that supports Cairn, maybe some sort of a spell, like an Execute, so that you can take the opponent's side tower pretty quick. Execute's still going to be strong in this meta. I think Dracasath will look good too. I think this is a pretty solid build for him this time around. Amplify Magic on the Holy Nova so you can get double effectiveness on your Shaman and your Dracasath. Earth Shield to give the Dracasath armored. Chromatic Scales to give the Shaman resistance. Going to be a good solid push team. Baron, I don't think Baron decks will change too much. I think they will kind of remain the same. Maybe a spell to support. There's a good Execute build going around right now with Baron, where you just focus on taking the side towers with something like this. You play a Quillbore, drop some skeletons with the Exhume talent, and then Execute giving them Bloodlust. It's pretty solid, so something that looks like that. Murk-Eye is probably going to be close to the same. Rocket Tower is going to be rough for him, so there might be some sort of iteration where you play larger units with him so that you're not just throwing all of your Murlocs at their base and them getting one shot by a tower. You've actually got something else going on. Though Quillbore is going to be invaluable to distract from the Rocket Towers. We'll just have to see how it ends up playing out, but I definitely think he takes a little bit of a hit. Tyrion, I'm really looking forward to playing something along these lines. Being able to support your Footmen by giving them resist with deep breath. If you don't have it, you can always use the Holy Nova talent. That's what you probably should be doing anyway. So something like this. There we go. And then maybe another spell to support or something besides this Dark-Eye Miner, though he is probably still very good on the map. And then last but not least, we have Jaina. I think it's still something kind of like this. Maybe swap out this for Execute. Maybe a little more control here with Chain Lightning, just to cycle back around. But I don't think the builds will change too terribly much. I did play a Footman build before with Jaina, and it might also come back. It might look something a little like this. We want to get our support in. We probably don't need Execute in this build. We could probably swap this to Chain Lightning maybe, so that we can give Deep Breath to these guys, or maybe, or not Deep Breath, but Resist, or maybe if you have the Deep Breath, swap this out and give them Deep Breath with this, so you can have the Renew talent on this Holy Nova. But I don't think it's going to shake up the meta too terribly much. I think the map is still pretty narrow. Control decks are going to be very good still, but I think you will expect to see a rise of things such as Hogger, Rend, Dracosath, things of that nature. Grommash, I don't think it's very good. I don't think Sneed gets better. He needs a new map with treasure chests, and the usual culprits are like just kind of meh. So, what do you think about the change to Rocket Towers? What do you think is going to be better? What do you think is going to be worse? Let me know in the comments below. And once again, thank you so much to RumbleDB for sponsoring today's video. I'm super excited about it. This is our very first sponsor. You can find a link to their description on my About page, as well as in the description below. So, thank you so very much for being here, and I appreciate you watching like always, and until next time. Bye.